Welcome back to Evo News, a weekly news segment that drops every single Friday on the Evo India YouTube channel, where we bring you all of the news updates from the automotive world. Now, this week, there's a bunch of stuff that we'll be talking about. There are launches from India, there are global unveils. Sirish, could you run us through a couple of things that we'll be covering?
So, just as we woke up this morning, came news of the Volkswagen ID.2all being unveiled. Now, this is a concept, but this previews the production electric small car from Volkswagen, and not only from Volkswagen but the entire Volkswagen group. And the interesting thing is that in India we don't have the Polo, and it is unlikely that we will get a combustion engined Polo in the future, but this could be the Polo replacement. This could be the electric Polo. In fact, this is more conventional than the ID3 and the ID4 that we've already seen. So this could be coming to India.
Okay, we'll get into the details of the ID2all. First, let's talk about the stuff that's relevant and that's happening in India. Kia, it launched its updated SUVs and the Carens, basically. It's updated its lineup to meet BS 6.2 norms, the RDE norms. So you've got tweaks to the Carens, you've got tweaks to the Seltos, and you've got tweaks to the Sonet, mainly to do with their engine. So this is not like a facelift or any sort of update, but the engines have been tweaked around, the drivetrain, the transmission options have been tweaked around.
Cool. So let's start with the Carens, because that is the most popular vehicle in the Kia lineup right now. It is also sort of become like a brand shaper for them, along with the Carnival, the Carens. The popularity of MPVs is really propelling Kia forward, and I think that is a strategy that they're going to pursue in India. So it's only logical that the Carens is the first to get the new 1.5 turbo GDI engine. Now, this replaces the 1.4 across the Hyundai and Kia lineup. So we, in the last news of the week, we spoke about the we spoke about the Alcazar getting the 1.5 turbo petrol. Obviously, the Creta will get it. The Kia lineup, the Carens is the first to get this. Now, this gets a little bit more power than the old 1.4. It obviously has lower emissions, because that is the whole point. It will also probably give better fuel economy. So overall, a better engine, more technologically advanced engine. And it is commendable that the Hyundai Kia group, they are still investing and launching new engines for India. When everybody are moving towards EVs, they are still investing in newer ICE powertrains.
I think they realize that the life of ICE cars in India is going to be a lot longer than the rest of the world.
And you also have to remember that Hyundai and Kia are still sticking with diesel engines.
Yes.
Whereas others have axed diesels completely. Hyundai is still sticking with diesels. They have upgraded their diesels to meet the RDE emission norms.
Yes.
Their pricing has not gone through the roof. So they're proving the others wrong when others said that the diesels would be unaffordable and the price gap would be 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. They've shown that it's not. It's doable. So commendable, the work that they're doing.
I think it's worth talking about the transmissions on the Carens as well. So the turbo petrol, the 1.5 will be available with an IMT and higher variants with a DCT.
Okay, so no regular manual transmission.
No regular manual. Same thing for the diesels. IMTs or the torque converter. There's no manual transmissions on the diesels as well. The only manual you can get is with the 1.5 naturally aspirated petrol.
Okay, so let's just recap. The IMT is basically a manual transmission, but a clutchless manual transmission.
Yes.
So you still have to shift gears using your left hand,
Yeah.
but you don't have to keep dipping the clutch.
Correct.
And when you drive in the city, the major pain point when you're driving a manual transmission in the city is the constant clutch in, clutch out when you're crawling through traffic.
Yeah.
So with an IMT, you stick it in first or second. You don't have to keep rowing through the gears either. And that just eases the burden of driving in the city. And importantly, it is smoother than a regular AMT, and it is very affordable.
Yes.
When IMTs and manual transmissions were there together in the lineup, the price difference was $15,000-$20,000. So very small price gap, but in terms of convenience, a huge step up. Of course, keen drivers would always prefer a manual, or if you're doing automatic, a proper DCT automatic. But this is an in-between solution. It's not for driving enthusiasts, but for regular buyers, especially Carens buyers. Now, they are a little bit more practical and sensible and family-oriented. For them, an IMT makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
You don't have that 1 lakh price jump to a regular automatic transmission. So, and also fuel economy. An IMT does not affect your fuel economy as much as a regular torque converter. So you do get the best of all worlds. So I think it is sensible, and it also reduces the complexity in the lineup, having all these variants, have an IMT and a manual transmission, all of that. So it just eases the number of options that you take and the number of variants that you have to cycle through before you pick your car. So the Carens, now it gets the IMT transmission with both the turbo petrol. They also have the naturally aspirated petrol engine in the Carens.
Yeah.
And that will be the meat of the segment.
Yeah.
You also have to ask the question, does the Carens owner really need a 150 bhp engine?
I don't know. It's not a sporty car per se. Like the chassis setup, the way it steers, the way it drives is not sporty. But you think about what the Carens is going to do. You're going to have 7 people in there. You're going to have luggage. People are going to maybe put roof racks on it and lug a lot of weight around. I'm sure the power could be of use.
Then wouldn't you buy the diesel?
The diesel's expensive, no? But actually, they must be on par for
the prices, more or less on par. So,
yeah,
I don't know. But, okay, we are not going to complain about having more power.
For sure. Yeah,
so,
I'm not going to say no to turbo petrol.
So, enjoy the power and obviously it'll make the Carens nicer to drive. Now, by no stretch of imagination is the Carens a bad car to drive. In fact, the balance of ride and handling is well suited to the intended purpose of the Carens. It is comfortable and it is a safe handler. So, I think overall...
But we haven't driven this 1.5 engine yet in any car, whether a Hyundai or a Kia.
Would the Seltos be the car that we get to experience this engine with first?
No, because Kia has not given us a turbo petrol in the Seltos just now. So they've updated the Seltos lineup as well, and the turbo petrol's gone from it. So no 1.5 turbo in the Seltos right now. You only get the diesel and naturally aspirated petrol.
Okay. So anyway, now in that lineup also, it's the naturally aspirated petrol that really sells more than the turbo petrol. So it is sensible. But maybe during the facelift, that's the time that we will see the new engine in it.
For sure. And the facelift should be around the corner because the Seltos has been around for a while. I think it was first shown to us in 2019.
Yep, pre-pandemic.
Yeah. And it's been 4 years now?
Yep. So it is due for a update.
Yeah. So that might happen, but there's no turbo petrol for the time being.
Going a little bit off track, even the Creta is due for an update, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to get
the first
Tucson-like face, no?
Yeah, so who gets updated first? Okay, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And finally, the Sonet.
The Sonet. So the Sonet also gets updates. Now, the updates are mainly to the diesel lineup. Previously, the Sonet came with a diesel manual and a diesel automatic with a torque converter. And the manual had a lower spec engine. It didn't get the VGT turbo, made a little less power. Now, manual gone again, so no manuals in the range. But you do get the IMT with the diesel engine, and that IMT diesel gets the same higher spec power as what the automatic did earlier. So I think it's 130, 114 bhp approximately, and that's across the diesel range now. So as for the turbo petrol range, that remains unchanged. You get your IMT, you get your DCT, and
so with the Sonet, if you're a keen driver, it's still the diesel that you would pick.
Yeah, but you'll get an IMT with it.
Or you get a regular torque converter.
Yeah.
In fact,
but why not the DCT? The DCT will be nice.
But the diesel with the diesel torque, it's got more capacity. There is no replacement for displacement. It's got a proper torque converter automatic. So it will actually be more powerful and more enthusiastic to drive than the 1 liter turbo
and
petrol.
It is. We had a long turbo for a very long time. We drove it around a lot. It was a really nice, enjoyable car to drive. It was a compact car, but it had good performance. It handled well. It felt nice and expensive.
And fuel efficiency.
Yeah, fuel efficiency.
Solid fuel efficiency. In fact, when we drove it from Pune to Udaipur, in some sections we got 20 kmpl, and this was genuine 20 kmpl.
Yeah.
So performance also for the highways, it had enough grunt to keep ahead of fast moving traffic. Overall, I think the diesel is still the pick of the Sonet range if you are a driving enthusiast.
Definitely.
And should we also talk about the Kia EV9?
Yes, let's.
Okay, so not coming to India as of now. It will come in time. Kia has brought the EV6 to India.
And they showed us the EV9 at Auto Expo, the concept version of what was just unveiled.
Yes. So this is the largest Kia that will be on sale. It's a electric. Okay, EVs are all electrics. It's got approximately 200 more in terms of the wheelbase compared to the EV6. It is a 3-row MPV.
Proper 3-row.
A proper 3-row MPV. It looks very cool, very futuristic. It's got what Kia are now calling the digital tiger face with lot of lighting elements. All these EVs use tons of lighting elements. I think it's
looks
very
good.
Okay, styling is in the eye of the beholder. It looks very interesting.
Yeah.
Very different from everything else, and that obviously works. In fact, Kia's design is what is pushing themselves forward. Also, very good product planning, like MPVs.
And you think about it, they're doing what they did with the Carens. It's not a SUV, but it's got SUV styling cues. You know, when you look
with
at
the
it.
practicality of an MPV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing.
This will have a lot of space.
It will.
It will have around 540 kilometers of range. Now, because the wheelbase is longer and with all these born electric platforms, the batteries are between the wheels. So you're looking at approximately 100 kilowatt hour battery. The eGMP platform, which is shared between Kia and Hyundai, it gets 800 volt charging.
Yeah.
So the Taycan and Porsche are the only others that have 800 volt technology. So this is an advanced platform in terms of the tech. So I think it's a great thing to actually get our hands on.
But it'll be expensive.
It will be the most expensive Kia also.
It'll be very expensive. Like the EV6 is already what, 45?
No, 60, 65.
Yeah.
So
sorry, the Ioniq 5 is 45.
Yep. So you're looking at probably a crore for a Kia. But then this will be imported, small numbers.
Yeah.
And as a brand shaper for Kia, I think it will be really cool.
For sure.
And I wouldn't put it past them. I think they might bring it to India. And the hero value of that will actually drive sales of the Carnival.
Would you pay 1 crore for something with a Kia on the nose?
It's not fair to say it, but what I said when I drove the Kia EV6 is that with these electric cars, all those past benchmarks are being rewritten because the EV6 has the same amount of tech as a premium German electric car.
That's true.
So you're paying for technology, right?
Yeah.
You're not paying for the badge value. Obviously, people are paying for the badge value, but as a journalist and as a road tester, our job is to talk about what you're paying for.
Correct.
So in a sense, you are paying for the tech. And these Kias and Hyundais, these electric cars, like even the Ioniq 5, in terms of tech, they are actually superior to a lot of the luxury car brands.
For sure. Yeah.
So as testers, we can't really say, no, I will not pay a crore of rupees for a Kia. If it has the technology of, say, a 1.5 crore luxury German saloon, why the heck not? So all those past rules will get rewritten when everybody moves towards electric. And if a brand ABC has better tech than a brand XYZ, at a cheaper price, go and buy the more value for money vehicle.
For sure. Absolutely. Completely.
And in
agree
terms
with
of styling also, that's another driver of demand. The Ioniq 5, it looks... to me,
both
again,
of them, even the EV6, in different ways.
In different ways, but
they both look very good.
Like I think the Ioniq 5 is better looking than the EV6. Like I said, styling is in the eye of the beholder. So you can form your own opinions about styling. But that Ioniq 5, I would buy that over anything else. Just because of the way it looks.
Absolutely.
It looks so cool. My only niggle with the Ioniq 5 is that it does not have wireless CarPlay. And that just tells that there is nothing really to complain about. So I think all these rules will get rewritten.
Now, on the topic of electric cars, Porsche announced a little more of its roadmap to going electric. And it announced that the Cayenne is going to go electric by 2026. Before that, the 718 in 2025, the Macan next year. So they've pretty much announced almost the entire lineup as electric,
So you were with Porsche at the Formula E race in Hyderabad. You've learned some stuff. I actually went down to an electric vehicle workshop in Italy with Porsche, where I got to experience the race electric car.
How was that? That must have been wild.
The 718 Club Sport with the electric...
It's got a very long name.
It's got GT4E performance, all of that. But basically it is the electrified 718. And that is something that they're looking at doing a single make series. So you have the 911 Cup, which is the most popular single make championship all over the world. The 911 obviously is used in racing all over. So the 911 is sacrosanct.
Correct.
Right? The 911 will not be electrified in the foreseeable future. unless
it may be electrified, but it won't go full electric.
Okay, so electrified it means hybrid,
Yes.
but it won't go full EV.
Exactly.
Because the 911 is
the 911.
God.
Yeah.
You can't touch the 911. So all this experimentation happens with everything else. 911 stays combustion engine, and obviously e-fuels are being worked on.
Yes.
Porsche is amongst the front runners in working on e-fuels. So the 911 Cup series is moving towards e-fuels. So in terms of emissions and all of that, they will make the right noises, and they'll make the proper combustion engine noises also. So the 718 electrified, that's coming very soon, next year.
2 years.
2 years. So first is the Macan.
Yes.
Now, there have been spy shots of the Macan, officially released spy shots of the Macan electric.
Yes.
I saw it in Italy.
Yeah.
Obviously under camouflage. In fact, the camouflage is really cool because they have cutaways for the exhaust on that to throw people off. But that is the electrified Macan. With the electrified Macan, they're talking about being the most driver-focused SUV in that. Now, the regular combustion engine Macan is very, very enthusiastic to drive.
Everything Porsche does is proper sporty.
Yeah, it's proper fun to drive.
Yeah.
So they're looking at making that also like the benchmark in terms of enthusiast driving in that segment. So that is coming. That
Somehow I don't
first.
doubt that'll happen.
You don't doubt that'll happen.
Yeah,
so basically you mean that it will happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So it will be sporty. But also the combustion engine Macan will continue, and that overlap will be there for some time.
That's good.
So
Good for us.
you can pick what you want.
Yeah.
Depending on what your requirements are and all that. And of course, they do the regulars, then they do the turbos, then they do the Turbo S and the even sportier and all of that. So all of that will happen sort of side by side. So the Macan is coming.
Yes.
What else?
718 is coming, and then the Cayenne is coming. So the big news is the Cayenne. We knew about the 718, we knew about the Macan. The Cayenne is coming in 2026.
Okay. So electrified Cayenne. In fact, there is even bigger news, and that is an even bigger SUV that will slot in over the Cayenne, as yet unnamed, but it has been confirmed that an even bigger and even more luxurious SUV is coming above the Cayenne that will also be electrified. So Porsche really has a lot up its sleeve.
And when you think about that, that's going to go to Audi and to Bentley and to Volkswagen and to everyone.
Exactly. So this platform is going to be shared across the group.
Yeah.
So we will see similar sized vehicles. In fact, talking about Audi, and this is not part of what we were going to talk about, but I must point out that Instagram is full of these sketches and illustrations of Audi's rival to the electric G-Wagon. So Audi is...
Why have I not been seeing these sketches?
I don't know who you follow. So Audi is actually working on a rival to the G-Wagon, the electric G-Wagon. An electrified,
make it look like a
rugged SUV.
Yeah.
So that, and I think they definitely should, because look at the success of the G-Wagon.
Yeah.
The success of the electric G-Wagon is for sure guaranteed.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
why the hell not jump onto that bandwagon also? And the sketches look really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really butch, in your face, rugged SUV. So that could also take on the Defender. The Defender electric will come.
Yeah.
So that's a nice niche. So that is away from the topic that we're talking on. But you're right. Whatever Porsche is working on, these platforms will be shared across the group. So we will see...
So you could see a Mercedes Maybach rival from Audi, in that.
Yeah, but we're talking about SUVs. So
Yeah,
you'll see
the
a full
GLS.
electric Bentley.
Yeah.
Right? You'll see a full electric Lamborghini.
I mean, it's on the plans. 2027 or 2028, they've said they'll announce a full electric Lambo. So
because Porsche is working on the platform, Porsche obviously gets first dibs on it.
Yeah.
So first you will see the top of the line luxury SUV EV from Porsche, and then the rest will get it.
And then speaking of the 911, like when I was talking to the guys over at Formula E, they said the 911 is their core, it's their heritage, and it's what they will electrify the last. And if they can get away with it, they won't electrify it. So if
e-fuels.
Yeah, if legislation forces it, it'll have to be electrified. But if they have a choice, they will not. And I was asking them, where are they investing and how are they able to invest in e-fuels and in electric mobility at the same time? Does it not?
People are buying Macans and Cayennes.
That's true. But where do you focus, right? And he was saying the focus is simple. See, we're going to need new electric cars, but we also have so many cars on the road already. It's greener to keep these cars running than to make new electric cars and replace those cars. So that's why e-fuels come in. And he was,
that's a damn good point.
There's a statistic about how many 911s are still on the road. I think it's
80% or something.
80%. How are you going to fuel those 80% of those 911s? That have been sold across the history. You need a fuel for that. And that's why they're investing in that e-fuel. And I think that makes so much logical sense. Now, whether the future of the 911 remains or not, I think governments will determine that on what is allowed to be sold and what's not. But the cars that we have, we can hopefully keep them running.
Hopefully 911s will come down in value. And
that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
In fact, the opposite will happen. The fewer 911s you have, and with the 911s becoming so expensive also, the values of used 911s just keep going up.
All the dreams that we have.
So in a way, it makes sense to buy it now. Otherwise, 2 years later, you'll be saying the same thing and saying, shit, 2 years back, I should have bought it.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, we digress.
Yeah. No.
So since we're talking about platform sharing and all of that, let's jump straight into the Volkswagen, the ID.2all.
Yes.
Now, pictures of this are on your screen right now. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments. But again, styling, personal, I think it's very nice.
I think it's cute. It's funky.
I think it's cute. Yeah. It's little sporty also. 20-inch wheels.
Yeah.
Those are 20-inch wheels on that thing.
Very unlikely that those will come to India if they do come.
You never know. Because, on the wheels front, I was talking to Pratap Bose on the sidelines of Formula E. Now, the wheels that they have on their born electric vehicles, that's the one that they're going to bring.
Oh, really?
Because the car has been styled and engineered with those wheels. With all these electric cars, big wheels actually are going to be baked into the design at the very start. Because styling, very important.
Yeah.
What is going to swing your buying decision with an EV? Range, the brand.
Yeah.
But top of it would be styling. Because all of them would perform more or less on par.
I mean, I would probably go for a brand that I trust in terms of tech over styling.
But with EV tech, it's not like... I think with EV tech, there is really not that much to differentiate. Okay, a Porsche with their torque vectoring and all of that masala that they put in, that's different. But with mass market brands,
I guess so.
It's not really going to... The driving experience is not going to change that much. It's a fact. It's that fact, but it's true. It's not going to change that much.
The way the drivetrain feels is not going to change as much. I think the way the cars feel still, like you compare. What have I driven a lot of in the same segment? You compare an e-tron to a GLC to an I-Pace. They feel different. EQC, sorry.
But you step on it and it's the same.
Sure, the acceleration is the same.
Yeah. But what you feel different is because of the cabin layout.
Yeah.
It's because of... So basically it is styling. Basically it is styling. Inside styling, outside styling. Okay, a little bit in terms of rider handling.
Yeah, for sure.
So like the EQC and the e-tron, because the EQC is so low and all of that, right? It's too stiff, whereas the e-tron is much better to drive. That is in terms of the ride and handling. But mainly you're still talking about styling. So the styling is going to be an important factor. And big wheels are going to be a big factor in you getting drawn to the styling.
I just hope it doesn't ruin the ride of these cars because they're already going to be heavy cars.
Yeah, but again, baked into the styling at the start, baked into the design at the start. Yeah. So they will take care of it. In fact, Martin Ullrich, also Tata Motors design head, he said the same thing. The Sierra concept, what we saw, it was on 20-inch wheels. And the production one will have 19s. So big wheels are coming everywhere. Okay, so maybe not 20s. It will be 19s on the ID.2all when it comes in. Now, what is interesting with the ID.2all? VW already has electric cars. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, VW are the best-selling electric brand in Germany, in their home market. Maybe Tesla is a close second. I'm not too sure, but it is right up there. Now, ID.3, ID.4, in fact, the ID.4 is coming to India this year. We caught an ID.4 GTX on test somewhere around Pune while it was being tested. We put it up on our social media, on our website as well. So that is being evaluated, is going to come to India. But that is at the top end. That will be a full CBO, pricing very high. VW does need a mass market EV for India.
Yeah.
That is no debate around it.
For sure.
And what VW, in fact, the whole Skoda VW group in India, what they're not going to do is just put in an electric powertrain into their existing combustion engine cars. It would be the logical, sensible, and quickest thing to do. So you have an electrified Kushaq, an electrified Taigo, in the same way that Tata Motors has electrified Nexon. But I don't think they're going to do it. What they will do is bring born electric platforms, heavily localized, like how the MQB A0 Iron platform is. And this could be it. This is the first front wheel drive electric car in the Volkswagen portfolio. Now, if you look at the pricing that they are announcing for Europe, it works out to roughly around 23 lakh rupees India, which is expensive.
Yeah.
But they've already said that there will be cheaper versions of it for the other sister brands. For instance, Seat, SEAT, not Seat tires, SEAT. Seat will have a cheaper variant of it.
Yeah.
Because Seats are more affordable than Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Similarly, Skoda slightly more affordable than Volkswagen in Europe. So there will be more affordable versions. And there could be a lower battery pack, a lower spec version that could be done
localized.
For India. Yeah, done for India with heavy localization content.
Yeah.
You also have to remember that Volkswagen Group and Mahindra have a partnership for their electrified platforms.
With MEB.
With MEB.
Yeah.
This is the first front-wheel drive MEB platform.
Yeah.
Now, if they localize this, okay, Mahindra will get access to it.
Yeah.
Volkswagen will get access to it. Skoda will get access to it. You might even see an Audi, a small Audi. They get access to it.
Yeah.
So it makes all the sense in the world to assemble, to get these parts to India, get vendors to start localizing this in India. And that could be the start of the Skoda Volkswagen Group's mass market electric journey in India.
And you think about what Volkswagen built its brand on, like historically. It's mass market cars.
Exactly.
You know, the Beetle.
Yep.
And
it's not Phaetons.
Yeah, it's not. The Golf. I mean, in Europe, the Golf. It was never relevant to us. But
in India, the Polo.
Yeah, in India, the Polo.
Yep.
So it's mass market cars that have built the Volkswagen brand. The Volkswagen literally means
people's car.
Exactly. So if they can get that done, executed properly in India, I think it'll be a huge success.
So I've got my bets on that this is going to happen.
You actually spoke to Piyush Arora. We've got the whole 1 hour long podcast on our YouTube. But were there any hints of anything that he said that can
you can't. I tried, okay, by squeezing in the question left, right, center, but he's too smart for that. He's too sharp for that. So no, he didn't say anything about what is coming. But what he clearly hinted at is that they're not going to do this quick fix solutions. That's not the Volkswagen way of doing it. If they do it properly, or they don't do it at all. So it's no question they have to do EVs. The government is insisting on it. The legislation is insisting on it. So they have to do EVs. The ENIAC IV will be the first from the Skoda VW group. Then the ID.4 GTX that we saw.
But those are going to be big and expensive.
So, but that will start, and they always do this top-down approach. So that will start the whole electric journey, and they have to have electric cars for India. There's a lot of debate around India 2.5.
Yeah.
What is going to happen after it? Rumors are that Volkswagen is not buying into India 2.5. So only Skoda are going to go it alone. And that platform, our MQB A0 platform.
But wouldn't that make like financial...
No, so what I was saying was that the MQB A0 platform, now that has been given completely to Skoda.
Okay.
Skoda have got full charge of it. VW aren't doing anything with the MQB platform. In India, they will continue with the MQB A0 platform. They will continue to work on it and extend its life. But VW are now focusing more on electrics. So now if VW aren't buying into India 2.5, what is going to happen after the current cars?
That scares me because, I mean, what makes these cars possible are the economies of scale. The fact that it's shared across two brands, the fact that your volumes are shared across two brands means your development costs are shared. Everything is shared. When you're saying only Skoda is going to do it, then does Skoda only foot the bills?
So
and
that's the thing. No idea. These are rumors, but electrics have to happen.
Yeah.
And ID.2all when it becomes the ID2. People are saying it might be called the ID Polo or ID Golf.
Yeah, it makes sense, no? Because
ID Golf, but it is a little smaller than the Golf. So again,
when the ID3 came out, Volkswagen themselves likened, and the reason it's called 3 is because it's the third significant car for them after Beetle, Golf, and then ID3.
Yep.
And if this is smaller than that, then it's a Polo, no?
Let's see. So a lot of questions around it, but I think you should be excited about the ID.2all.
Yeah, for sure.
There is a lot of potential for India, and we should be driving it very soon.
I hope so.
So we'll bring you all the info on that. Like we said, this is front wheel drive. It'll have a range of around 400 kilometers. Maybe for India, it'll be slightly lesser. And it has got a nice interior.
I like the interior.
Yeah, proper
very clean.
screens,
Yeah.
but not that one continuous screen that everybody doing. The steering wheel, nice and simple.
Yeah.
The cabin, very simple, clean, no clutter in it, no extra razzmatazz in it. Very
Minimal.
nicely executed. There's a small sort of like a compartment in the boot where you can put your groceries and all of that.
I didn't look in the boot.
Yeah. So it's like a khacha in the boot where you can put in your stuff so your stuff doesn't get thrown around in the boot. So very
thoughtful,
logically and intelligently designed. Proper Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited about it.
Me too, for sure.
Okay, what's next?
The GLC Coupe. Mercedes-Benz just showcased the facelift. Actually, it's not a facelift. It's a it's a completely new GLC Coupe, and it's got new styling, obviously. It's got new dimensions, so it's longer, it's a little taller. You've got wider tracks. It's a new platform.
So the GLC is coming to India.
Yeah.
We don't have the GLC right now. In fact, the reason why we have the GLB is to plug in that gap in the portfolio until the new GLC comes.
How's the GLB doing? I've not seen any on the road actually.
I saw the
EQB?
EQB.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
I saw the EQB. I saw it in Nasik of all places.
Interesting.
When we went and did that SEAT drive at the Mahindra Academy, I saw the EQB on the road.
Yeah,
it was a Nasik registration, if I'm not mistaken. So I did see one on the road. I haven't seen any in Pune or in Mumbai.
Yeah.
So
that's strange for Mercedes with the volumes that they do.
But look at the pricing of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
If you ask me, the EQB makes more sense than the GLB because the price is more or less the same over there. So, but anyway, that is a stopgap. That's not even assembled here.
Yeah.
That is fully imported.
Yeah.
And the reason it's important is because the plant in which the EQB and the GLB are made, they can't do CKD. They can't knock down the kits. So that's a bit strange. But anyway, that is a in-between solution till the GLC comes to India. The GLC obviously will be locally assembled. That will be one of the main drivers of volume for Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
So the GLC will come, the GLC Coupe will come. Like you said, all new platform. In fact, it has different sized tires, front and rear.
Yeah.
Like the Macan.
Yeah.
The Macan, Porsche makes a big deal of the staggered tires.
Yeah.
So Mercedes also is doing staggered tires. There is an option of rear wheel steer on the GLC.
Yeah.
I doubt that'll come to India, or if it comes also, it'll be on the launch edition cars.
Yeah. Even the air suspension, it's supposed to get airmatic now, but
I don't think for India, there's no need for.
In that segment, I don't think they would.
Because otherwise the pricing will again go out of whack.
Yeah.
But it's got nicer interiors. It's got the C-Class kind of interior.
Yeah, very nice.
Everything that we saw on the C-Class, that's now there on the GLC. And the GLC and the C-Class are related.
And I liked how the coupe looked. The older GLC coupe looked a little chunky. This one looks more svelte, more polished, I would say, the design of it. That's just me, maybe. But
even the nose, it's now cleaner.
Yeah.
It's smoother. It's nicer.
Definitely.
It overall looks much nicer.
Yeah.
My main thing is I hope it rides better. The GLC is a bit on the stiffer side. So I just hope it rides
I hope it's priced well. Mercedes is going super high with its pricing these days. And
so world over, Mercedes' strategy is now to focus on margins and profitability. And they are also making a big deal about how their market share in the more expensive segments is going up and is growing faster than in the more affordable segments. They don't have base versions anymore. Even the A-Class limousine, there's no base version anymore. So they are not focusing on making it cheap or making it affordable.
Yeah.
The demand is there. Why not cash in on it? And why not bring in the more fully loaded
Recently,
variants?
I don't know if you saw that press release, there was a price hike for the Mercedes-Benz, the whole, almost the whole lineup in India.
So if you look at what the prices were 10 years ago to what the prices are now, man, okay, taxes have also gone up, there is inflation and everything, but the way the prices have gone up,
even its
COVID
positioning
has done,
against its rivals, it's going more premium.
And because Mercedes is going up, so...
Like when the S-Class launched, remember how much it was priced? It was 2-point-something crores.
That was the launch edition.
Yeah,
then
but
it came down. Yeah. But if you look at what Mercedes is doing, BMW and Audi are also going there.
Yeah.
They're also saying, chalo baba, hum bhi jate. Yeah. So, and everything is selling. So what COVID has done after those first 6 months of COVID, once demand started picking up, it's now the best time to be in the car business. Not the bike business, because the bikes haven't really moved, and we should have a conversation about that later on. But the car business, the car dealers, all are doing extremely well. There is no inventory sitting unsold. Everything is on full price, no discounts. So it's a great time to be in the car business.
Absolutely.
Everything is selling. The demand shows no sign, touch wood, of slowing down. And it's good times all around. And also customers now are ready to wait. Everybody knows that abhi to rukna hi padega. So everybody is ready to wait.
Yeah. Sharad Agarwal, the head of Lamborghini in India, saying people are waiting 18 months for their cars. 18 months. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing in 18 months. Like what I'll be thinking, what I'll be... I don't know. I can't plan that far ahead. And people are waiting for their cars that long, you know. It's unreal.
In 18 months, you will be testing a lot of EVs. That I can assure you. Right. So that was the GLC and the GLC Coupe. Anything else on the news?
Honda's launched a 100cc motorcycle in India. You know, that's significant. They're getting really aggressive.
So why is that significant?
They've never had a 100cc motorcycle. That's where the volumes are.
Okay.
But they've never been in that space. They've had...
Why haven't they been in that space then?
I don't know. After the split between Hero and Honda, Honda just never got there.
So they've been obviously focusing on the Activa. And with the Activa, they've actually overtaken the Splendor. The Activa is the best-selling two-wheeler in the world. So that fight is going on. But Honda, very clearly, they said that we will overtake Hero. That we will be number one. And when the split happened, all of us, I think bar none, everybody thought that Honda will do it. Because the success of Hero Honda was because of Honda. We did not give Hero that
enough
much credit. But Hero, they invested in their own R&D. They made proper investments all over the world. They got the right people in, the right brain power in. And they've held on to their market share. Despite Honda, let's not underestimate them. Okay,
also
in
the
car
network
world,
that Hero has.
So in the car world, Honda is not that strong. But in the biking world, they are the major domos all over the world. They are kings everywhere in the world. They are number one by far. What Maruti is in the car world in India, Honda is like 10 times that in the biking world. But they haven't been able to beat Hero. They haven't been able to get to that number one spot. They're doing factories all over the country. Their capacities have gone up. But Hero have still stayed ahead. Full credit to them. So I guess the Shine 100, that's the 100cc motorcycle that they've launched.
You see the prices on your screen right now.
So that is their competitor to the Splendor. The Shine was a 125. That 125 I think still remains. So the Shine brand name is being built upon. And it will just add to incremental volumes. Now, how does Hero respond? That'll be interesting to see. But of course, Hero is now moving towards electrics with their Vida brand. Honda, why aren't they doing electrics?
I don't know. Do they have global electric scooters?
I'm sure. So that's also strange. Or maybe that's just Honda typically wait, watch, and when they come, they
do it properly.
Do the best. Because like with the Activa, when they came...
Imagine an electric Activa.
The Activa brand is just so strong.
Exactly.
In fact, that is like the Activa segment. So electric Activa. Then what happens to all these startup players? What happens to Ola?
Speaking of Ola, they announced something Well, which is like a recall, but not a recall, but also a recall.
What a strange thing. Now, people might think that we are anti-Ola and we are this petrol mafia brigade. But honestly, when you make such wishy-washy statements, what do you expect? So the statement said something on the lines that our front fork does not have a problem, but we improved it, and you can come and get an upgrade.
I have the statement. Let me just read it out, okay? Recently, there have been some concerns amongst the community around the safety of the front fork arm. We assure you that this is unfounded. Okay? At Ola, all the components of our scooters, including the front fork arm, are thoroughly tested under extreme conditions and are engineered with a factor of safety much higher than the typical loads encountered on the vehicle. However, as a part of our continuous engineering and design improvement process, we have recently upgraded the front fork design to enhance the durability and the strength even further.
It's so wishy-washy.
And it's a free update to anybody who...
and this...
It's basically a recall.
Yeah, but this clearly points to that there needs to be more regulation. The government bodies that are looking after this, under whose charge this comes, they really need to step in and have like a proper recall thing. Now, recall is no bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Yeah, everybody recalls stuff.
Yeah, so if there is a problem, you do a recall, you sort it out and move on from there.
Yeah.
End of story.
If anything, it shows you to be a responsible manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. So the recall does not have to have this bad connotation.
Yeah.
There is a problem, sort it out and finish. Now move on. And everybody is clearly informed about it. And before it becomes a problem, a big problem, you address it and it's done. But making such statements that it's not a problem, but you can still upgrade it. This is not charity, right? Nobody does charity here. Everybody's in it to make money.
Yeah.
Now, why would you do free upgrades?
Absolutely.
Unless there is a problem.
It's not over-the-air updates also. You have to take your bike somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good question now. Where do you take your bike?
I have no idea.
So basically, you have to go to the Ola app.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to book a slot for that van to come to you.
Oh, van is coming.
Oh, obviously, no.
Yeah,
because where is the Ola service center?
Yeah.
You can't go and take it to an Ola service center. And that's where having showrooms like what Bajaj has, what TVS has, having this physical setups where you can go there, you can take your bike and get sorted. It just gives you that confidence that tomorrow they will still be there.
It's not a technology product at the end of the day. There's only so much you can fix with the updates.
Yeah, and even with your iPhone, you still go and want to get it worked up on.
If your screen breaks, you're going to take it to the service center.
Actually, I've never taken it. So years of using an iPhone, I've never taken it to.
Never broken the screen.
No, but I've always bought it at an Apple store.
Yeah.
Because that experience of buying it at a Apple store is far better than just buying it on the app. Yeah. Now, I bought my iPad on the app. Didn't give that much joy, Okay, you get the iPad, right?
Sure.
But just buying your phone, buying your Mac at a store.
That tells you a lot about human psychology.
So I have bought Apple products on the app, but it's the same product, right? It works that well and everything. But just the joy of going to a Apple store, which we still don't have in India, but in Dubai and in the States.
You've got resellers here, which pretty much...
So the fact is that you go to an Apple store, you buy it at Apple store, that whole experience is, it just adds to that joy of owning.
Yeah.
Buying stuff on the app, that's like buying stuff off Amazon, then you return it after 2 days because you don't want it, and it's no maza.
Yeah.
So with a bike, buying it at a showroom, you take your parents, you take your partner, you do a small puja for the bike, you break a coconut. We are Indians, we are emotional.
Yeah.
And these things just add to the ownership experience. In fact, I was talking to Santosh here, who's now the head of Mercedes-Benz. I was asking him actually when they started this whole digital journey. So what he said was that a lot of people do their research online. Maybe they don't even come to the showroom to check out the car. But most of them come to the showroom to take delivery of the car. Because of that whole delivery process and all that. You don't buy, no matter how rich you are, you don't buy a car every day.
Yeah.
It's a momentous occasion in anybody's life, whether it's a 4-wheeler or a 2-wheeler. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
When I took delivery of my Harley, I took my wife, I took my parents, went to the dealership. They did all that dol damala, cut a cake, broke a coconut, that riding out of the showroom.
Did you take Benny to make a reel also for you?
Actually, Anand came and made a reel also for me. So again, for the gram, that bike coming out of the van doesn't look as cool, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we digress. That's not what we are talking about. But if you have an Ola, go and get your front fork replaced. So that's it on the news of the week. Atish is off next week to drive something really interesting up in the snows. In fact, we were supposed to do this story a month ago.
Yeah.
But the passes still haven't opened. But now we're getting word that next week the pass will be open and we want to be one of the first up there, get some beautiful imagery. So Adish, have a good time.
Thank you.
Next week, hopefully Anand will be with me in the studio. In fact, I'm also off as we speak to do something really cool.
I'm very jealous. I'm not going on this little event, but
I don't know if there's an embargo on it, so I can't say anything. But it is the biggest thing by far, like 1,000 times bigger than anything we've ever featured. 1,000 times more power, 1,000 times more size. It's absolutely epic, and it is made in India.
Unbelievable.
I have got goosebumps just thinking about it. So anyway, we are off. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy this series, do give us a shout out. Share this with like-minded enthusiasts. We also have this on our podcast channels. On YouTube, obviously, we have more images to illustrate what we're talking about. But if you're listening to this on our podcast channels, also thank you for listening to us. And do give us a thumbs up and let us know what you think. What more should we be adding on the News of the Week series? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you next week.